I'm sitting here right now with somebody that I think you, as well as myself, can learn a lot from when it comes to starting a YouTube channel from literal ground zero, taking it into something that makes legitimate money and is, you know, really onto something big in a year, just a little over a year. This is Andrew Steele.
What's going on, everybody?
From RVing with Andrew Steele.
February of 2019. A couple months later, I started taking it a little more seriously. About a year and a half now. So
where are you at now?
45,000 subscribers, somewhere maybe a little bit more than that. So the number one thing, like you said, you got to be passionate about a certain thing, whether it's dogs or leather or upholstery or lighting or whatever you're passionate about. Baseball caps. It could be RVs, cars, whatever you're passionate about. That's number one. Being super passionate about that is most important. Number two, whatever you need to learn, get on YouTube and type in, how do I transport a file? Like I didn't, literally, I didn't own a computer. I was not computer savvy. I'd never owned a camera other than a camera phone that I never even really used. I knew that if I learned that stuff, I was passionate about this subject. Everything that you need to know, you can learn on YouTube. And that's the coolest thing. Like whatever, you're going to hit like a million roadblocks to get to this level. But every time you have a problem, get on YouTube and there's a good chance some like 8-year-old kid will explain it to you.
You know that from experience?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, but hey, it works.
That's true.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell these guys what your channel is about?
It's about anything RV related. So RV parks, RVs, RV owner interviews, anything to do with RVs.
And that's pretty strange to me because I didn't know there was a segment of the YouTube that even existed like this. He did not have any shout outs or collaboration with larger channels to catapult him quickly. Like this is all organic growth using, the YouTube algorithms, just kind of, that was his only method of doing it because there was nobody really ahead in that segment yet. Now, you're like the guy.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I've tried to focus more on the high-end motorhome stuff, that's kind of been my niche. My background is washing RVs, so that's kind of how I got into a lot of this stuff, was through my job. Met a lot of RV owners, wanted to share that information with people, but there's a couple big fifth wheel channels. There's one big fifth wheel channel out there, kind of the tiny home, more of that stuff, the Class B stuff, but the real high-end stuff, the Prevos and the Newells, is kind of the segment that I've tried to carve out.
If you don't know what those are like the top 2 motorhomes that literally money can possibly buy. What are they, 2.3, 2.5 million?
I've heard up to 2.6, 2.7 million dollars, 2.8, 2.9. I've heard all kinds of different numbers.
How I found Andrew is through the videos that he made of these models, but older, so they were actually affordable, and he did a really good job at showcasing what the best money could buy in 1996-ish for a Prevo. What is that like now? Is it still good? How are they built? Is it something that you could buy? Is it something you would want to buy? And I came across his channel while doing research for my own knowledge gathering, I think in November of last year, and you've just been hitting the ground hard ever since. You actually do this full time now, don't you?
Yeah. So the video that you're talking about was one of my customers, Kyle Starkey, with the 91 Agnola coach, with the 8V92 in it. We were washing and waxing his coach, and I'm like, hey man, I'm getting a YouTube channel started. Would you mind, telling your whole story? And so huge thanks to Kyle, because that was kind of a big confidence booster when I was like, wow, a dude like this with this really cool story is we're washing his RV and he's more than happy to just, let me put a camera in his face and talk, share everything that he knows. That was really cool. I don't know where I was going with that. What was the question that you had? You asked me a question.
That was the video that I found you from, and when I watched that, I was like, oh wow, here's a first-hand testimonial of some guy who's doing this, because you would naturally think that, oh man, you know, this thing's 25 years old, it was really expensive. If you use car logic on that, a 25-year-old top of the line like Mercedes or BMW is going to be a basket case of problems. But when it comes to RVs, that's just not the way.
Well, it's just a little different. You know, they're going to have problems as well, but you know, there's a lot of information, a lot of the cool things. So the thing for me that I've tried to do with my channel is get people the inside access and kind of the look that like no one else can get. That's the stuff that I've been trying to get. So
what inspired you to like start a channel? I don't even think you've ever told me this, but I know you're doing your detailing and stuff, but when did you get that click in your brain and said, I'm going to do this and take it seriously?
Well, what happened is I wanted to buy an RV, which I'm sitting in my Tiffin Phaeton now that I ended up buying. I knew I wanted to buy something nice. I wanted to buy a diesel pusher. And so I started asking everyone of my clients that I was washing their RVs. I'm washing all these diesel pushers every day, like meeting maybe 5 to 10 different diesel pusher owners a day, and then asking them what they like and don't like about their RV. Those were the 2 questions. And then I would try to ask them their maintenance expenses. And I started getting like every day I'd ask, a handful of guys, hey, what do you like? What do you not like about your coach? And what are your maintenance expenses? And people were just more than happy to talk about it. And I'm getting so much good information every day, because I was like spending hours hearing all these stories, and I was like, man, if I could get a camera to capture some of these stories, there's a lot of value that can be added in the different quality differences in different RVs. I just wanted to share all of this great information that I had with the general public, and I thought that if I shared all this information that there'd be some value to it. So
that's actually really cool, and kind of boils down to a core principle that I hear a lot of successful guys talk about, is adding value to something is like that's the basis for really succeeding in anything. And that's exactly what you did and what you set out to do from the beginning, and it shows. As far as getting your channel to grow, like what has been your approach to that, as far as like how often you post, what you post, how long the videos are, like the nitty-gritty of stuff that could be applied to people who make videos that aren't about RVs?
Dude, me personally, I have no idea. I have no rhyme or reason. Like, there's all these channels that are like, we post every Thursday at 5 p.m. They have, most channels have a schedule, and I don't know. I don't know, as weird as it sounds, I remember watching like Floyd Mayweather and on like an ESPN special, and he's like, dude, I have no schedule. I might wake up at 2 in the morning. I might go to the gym, like just whatever I'm feeling is what I'm going to do. So, I may just geek out and edit for 18 hours straight, or like we've been here in Sturgis, just capturing mad content constantly. Now I have all these memory cards where I may just go sit and be a hermit for a week and just geek out with all these memory cards, just editing hours and hours of footage. Some days I might just, film and edit and upload 1 video a day, do it all in a day. There's just, sometimes I might edit and upload 7 videos and then go goof off for a week and then just drop 1 a day. I try to drop like 1 a day, I try not to cram too many. I mean, sometimes I'll drop 3 videos in a day, sometimes I'll drop 2 videos, sometimes I'll go a few days without. I don't have any rhyme or reason. It's all about what content I can capture, how quickly I can capture it, and then get it to the public. And I kind of feel like every video that I make and every bit of content that I capture, I feel like I'm kind of sharing something with the world, and I'm kind of doing my duty to share that content. So I'm always in a rush to get that content out to the world, just so that more people can have the opportunity to see it. And so that's just how I look at it. Like right now, I've got so much fire in the hole that I just cannot wait to get it out to the people, because it's just so good. So as soon as I get really good Wi-Fi and I can edit all of this, I might start going to 2 videos a day. Just it all depends.
So you're all about the volume?
Not really. For me, it's turned into volume, because for me it's about sharing the content. It's not really about the volume. Like if I don't have any content, I'm not gonna like try to create content. I only try to capture the really cool stuff. Now a lot of that is creating contacts and creating conversations so that I can capture the right content. But you know, it just, I happen to be a high volume because I just have so much stuff. Like I know so many different people and I'm exposed to so much different stuff that I'm always trying to capture what's in front of me and share that with the world. So it just happens to be a lot of, so I'm just in a lot of places and I just want to share a lot of stuff. So that's just kind of how it worked. You know, I don't try to do volume. It just happens that way.
Have you noticed any like significant changes in your own mindset and perspectives and just the way you approach things from the beginning of your journey until like right now?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot really quickly. You know, I mean my first, you know, a lot of it, you know, I was doing this for free, and so now I'm at the point where I'm doing this full time, just because I love it, I enjoy it, and it's enough. Like I'm probably taking a pay cut or taking a risk, but I love it, and I'm very frugal, so it's just kind of like, all right, let's go take a risk and hope it pays off, making all these videos. But that was kind of the risk I took, you know, when I started it. You know, it was like, you're taking a risk with your time and hoping that there's a payoff, but if you enjoy it, it's all good. So I don't know, I wouldn't say my mindset's really changed that much. It's definitely a trip, like how many doors it's opened, but I still kind of look at YouTube the same. So
I remember back in was that earlier this year, so you were like, man, I can make more money detailing stuff than I can with these videos. Like I'm putting the YouTube on ice and
yeah. So actually, yeah. So January, basically. So my original goal was New Year's. My New Year's resolution for 2019 was I need to start a YouTube channel. I'd already been thinking about buying an RV because I'd been in the RV world, and I did really well detailing RVs. You know, like I had a great reputation detailing RVs, and I still have all of my equipment. I just put it on ice for right now because I'm focusing on the YouTube. On January 1st of 2019, I made the goal, and I wrote down all my goals at the beginning of the year, that I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and I'm going to make 100 videos of the best stuff possible in the year of 2019. So I guess I was already holding myself to a high volume. I had that volume measurement which is a video every third day, which most channels only do weekly. So I was already kind of holding myself at twice the standard of what the average channels were, and I went way. I mean, I'm at like 300 and almost 400 videos in a year and a half now. So I've done way more than that original 100. But basically, I just wanted to try to make as many videos as possible and just see what would happen. And then after the first year, it was cool, but it was taking away from my other business that I made a lot more money from. You know, it was like I was putting way too much time into this YouTube, which made a fraction. You know, like why am I investing, you know, half of my time or maybe even more than that into this YouTube? Because I loved it. It gets addicting. I was putting way too much time into it. So I was planning on basically putting it on ice. And I really did. Like if you see like January 1st, like I still like made some videos. Like if something was in front of me and it was like just while we were detailing, like I'd shoot out a couple videos, but then it just, like I had so much good content. Like I went out and I was like trying to be on vacation and take the week off of my detail business and just hang out at Barrett Jackson. And I mean, still run my detail business while I was there because it's like 20 minutes from my house. But like I got a Newell interview there that's gotten over 400,000 views. Got a lot of really cool interviews. Got, you know, and then I just kept like just having all these different doors open. And then like around that same time, I had been out in Florida and gotten hooked up with Liberty Coach and Dean Laux. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but like I was out in Florida, and Dean got me hooked up to go out and do some sponsored videos with Liberty Coach. So it was like I was like gonna put it on ice. Like within 1 month, I started to kind of get some calls for like some sponsored videos now, and it was like, all right, it was enough. Where it was like, okay, now this is maybe worth it a little more. And then I got like a bunch of traction pretty quickly. I got some stuff with Emerald Coach, Liberty Coach, some really cool stuff, and then had a lot of conversations open too, where other companies wanted to do some collaborations and some advertising on my channel. And I was like, wow, I was just blown away. And then all the craziness hit, and so that kind of all, everything, just everybody kind of hit the e-brakes on everything. And with the detail business at that same time, it's just such a weird year. It's not a good time to be an employer, and I was able to kind of just put everything on ice and just kind of put my detail business on ice. And then all of a sudden YouTube started paying a lot more on the RV stuff, because RV sales have gone up big time. So the advertisers have been paying more for RV related search terms. So all of a sudden, and I'm spending a lot more time. I'm spending all my time on YouTube now instead of running my detail business. So I have a lot more time to spend on YouTube, and it's been really kind of snowballing. It's pretty incredible. So.
It's even been really cool for me to like watch this happen, because I feel like I discovered you when you were kind of just starting. Like I saw this guy's video, and I'm like, this is an interesting video, and I see he's got 9,000 subscribers or something. I'm like, he might be doing something. And a couple weeks later, I see another video you put up, and you got like 13,000. I'm like, all right, there's something going on here. And then I had to go to your channel and see what you were doing, and then I actually contacted you about my own plans to maybe sell my truck and trailer and get an old Prevost renewal, and that's how our dialogue kind of started. And now we're out here in freaking middle of nowhere, Sturgis, South Dakota.
Yeah, and you caught me like when I was still answering. Like, there's no way I can't even answer any emails. Like, I was still. So Mitchell kind of got through the cracks somehow, because I stay extremely guarded. Like, there's just way too many people. I've kind of crazy timing where I was going go-kart riding with the guys from Premium Coach Group, and Mitchell was shopping for Prevost and Newells, and he was kind of picking my brain a little bit, and we had like shot some messages back and forth, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's a cool guy, but I can't help everybody. I'm not a buying consultant, so. But it was a couple messages, but then he like shot me a message like, hey, I'm in town. And dude, honestly, I was like, dude, like, I'm like, you know what? I'm already going to the go-kart track with Premium Coach Group. This guy might buy a coach from these guys. He does racing stuff. These guys do racing stuff. It won't hurt just to invite him to the go-kart track. And he showed up, and he was a cool guy. And I'm like, all right, we'll chop it up a little more. So, yeah, you went go-kart. We all went go-kart racing with the guys from Premium Coach Group, and that was kind of how I met Mitchell there.
After our first go-kart race, he broke his phone and left, and I ended up hanging out with Chad and his people longer than you, which was pretty funny.
You were down there for like 4 days. I think when I met you, did you even have a YouTube channel going yet, or?
It was actually right before I went to Premium Coach Group that
you just started.
Yeah, I got my MacBook and really started.
Yeah. So no, but you were just getting started then, but then you've been putting in a lot of work. So anything I can do, if I can use my platform to try to help give you a little boost, I'm more than happy to do that. Just because I know, like, there was a dude that like could have so easily done that with me, but the guy was just so weird and kind of like protective of everything he was doing that he didn't want to like help bring anybody up into the same space. And I think the space is bigger. The more people in the space, the better.
I think that's a really interesting point, that this guy who was ahead of you was real guarded, real protective of what in his head he had accomplished, and didn't like want to share it with anybody. And now you've passed it. So let that.
Oh
be
way past. Like in like so much. It's all in the rear view, but it's just kind of one of those memories that comes up. You know.
Well, it's a valid point to make, because I've had people do that to me for like Instagram and that kind of stuff with the Escalade and racing. They're just like, they don't tag you in stories. They're just real stingy about it, and I'm like, well, and you look at those people now, and they're stuck, because the real way to grow in this, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, whatever, is through your network. And if you don't help anybody, no one's gonna help you either.
Yeah.
So like, you gotta have an abundance mindset when it comes to, like, there's not a finite amount of people out there that are like, well, you're only gonna watch my videos instead of his. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, is when you help something, you can't expect anything in return. Like, I don't expect anything. Like, hey, it's just I choose who I want to help, and it's like the same thing like with these RV dealers. You go and you help them, and it's so funny how different RV dealers treat you so differently. Like, literally, Mitchell and I were like, literally went in, and Mitchell saw, like, you want to tell them what you witnessed just when we went to that spot the other day, that one dealership?
What happened was, we went over there to make some videos about these Renegade toter homes, like the semi-truck body motorhome deals. And Andrew had made a couple of videos with them a few days before, and they're doing pretty well. So we get in there.
And a year before, too. I had hooked him up with some videos a year before, too. So
okay, I didn't know that.
It was but yes, a couple that day, too,
Well, we walked in there, and she was like ecstatic about these videos, and said somebody contacted them already and turned around going to some dealership to go to theirs instead and look at stuff. And she was just straight up, unprompted, like, do you have an address or something like we could send you? It's like, like, she was just straight up, was just like, we want to pay you. And he didn't even ask. I'm just like, wow.
She said a check. She said, and next time, they sent me a bunch of like gear and stuff last year, but she was like, we'll send you a check. Like, she made that, but I told her I don't expect anything. Like, if it works out, cool. And then obviously, hey, if all of a sudden checks start showing up randomly, well, I just have fun with it. As long as I'm having fun with it, that's what's most important. And then when the money comes, and it has been coming more and more, I'll ride the wave as long as I can, man. It's the coolest job ever. It's absolutely like a dream come true to be able to like travel around in my motorhome making YouTube videos where Google's like sending me money to pay for all. It's unbelievable. So a lot to be thankful for.
That kind of sounds like you're committed, you're all in, but you're not attached to the outcome.
Yeah. I don't have any expectations of it. Like, I just know that if I put in a lot of work, good things will come. How those good things come and what exactly they're going to be, we'll see.
Super universal information for all kinds of stuff. I hope you're learning something. That was really awesome. Like, some of that stuff I've never even heard you say before, so that was even cool for me. I'm going to have to enjoy the editing process of putting this together. But where can people go to find you at?
Oh, RVing with Andrew Steele on YouTube.
He's the man. You can Google a lot of these different RV manufacturers' names, and his videos pop up. Like, he's pretty easy to find.
Check out like the cool stuff I like Liberty Coach. They're the top of the food chain of RVs. Got to do some stuff with them out here in Sturgis. I've done a bunch of stuff with them. And Featherlight Coaches. I still need to edit. We just did a private jets in Prevo film. We just shot the video. I still need to edit all that. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming soon. Appreciate all of you watching the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to Mitchell's channel and like this video as well. Hope you're all having a great day.
Yeah, if you learned something, hit that subscribe button, because that's my primary objective with my videos, is to, bring value to the table in the sense of, worthwhile entertainment. Like, you should take something away from every single thing I post, and if I don't do that, I'm not doing my job. So we'll see you in the next one.